Girls, I apologize because my phone cannot exceed a certain limit because it's so clogged. Yeah, so it is. We were talking about. He's like, oh, how shall I warble myself for the dead one that I loved? He's talking about writing poetry, as I said, adornment and ornamentation of the poetry, and tried saying good things about him, and he tried to express how sad he is that Abraham Lincoln is no more. Sea winds blown from east and west, blown from the eastern sea and blown from the western sea till they're on the prairies meeting. These and with these and the breath of my chant, I'll perfume the grave of him I love. And he says, the eastern winds come from the east and western winds come from the west, and they meet on the prairies, on the grasslands of prairies, and they bring their own scents and perfumes from all over the world. These with breath of my chant, and I will mix these with the breath means with the spirit of my poetry, and then I will I will perfume the grave of him I love. That is going to be my, the beautiful scented breath of my creation, of my song, of my poetry is going to be my incense that I will burn on his grave. Oh, what shall I hang on the chamber walls, and what shall the pictures be that hang on the walls? He says, now what? It's like, it's like this memory room which is being created for Abraham Lincoln. So in that room, which what pictures shall I hang to adorn the burial house of him I love? How will I decorate the grave of this beautiful person that's no more? Pictures of growing spring farms and homes. See, he did so much for America. इसलिए उनकी 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 बैरियल उनकी जो ग्रेव है उसके ऊपर जो पिक्चर्स होनी चाहिए वो स्प्रिंग की होनी चाहिए. Farms and warm houses filled with love and affection and certainty. With the fourth month eve at sundown and the grey smoke lucid and bright. And since he died in April, it's the fourth month eve at sundown. And some pictures of this beautiful place, where he met his end. The grey smoke lucid and bright, in the evenings when the cottages uh, spew the smoke which is used to, because of the coal which is used for cooking and burning inside the houses to keep it warm, with floods of yellow gold, with gorgeous indolent sinking sun burning expanding in the air. And he says, maybe I might have pictures of this beautiful golden sun which is setting. Okay, and it expands as it sets. It expands in the air, means it's rays, those beautiful curly rays. They spread a golden lightning in the atmosphere with the fresh sweet herbage underfoot. And he's saying, wherever I'm sitting, this beautiful scented herbs are growing under my foot, the pale green leaves of trees prolific, and so many trees, maybe it could be a picture of those amazing green leaves. In the distance, the flowing glaze, the breast of the river with the wind dapple here and there. And he says, "Okay, this beautiful big river that is flowing in front of me." And then dapple means it's like, dapple means those marks which the wind leaves on it, those round pock, as if pock marks, wind dapple here and there, with ranging hills on the banks, and with many a line against the sky and shadows. किसकी पिक्चर इन ब्यूटीफुल हिल्स की जो बैंक्स पे हैं, such many a line against the sky, so many hills against the sky I can see beautiful, and their shadows, and the city at hand with dwellings so dense, the stacks of chimneys, or maybe or will it be the pictures of the cities with a lot of people staying in it, and stacks of chimneys, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of houses with their chimneys, and all the scenes of life and workshops and workmen homeward returning. And the life or the pictures, or what shall I write about, or what shall I adorn this beautiful, in my poetry is like this mansion which has to be adorned with pictures. What should be those pictures be like, will they be totally pastoral, rustic, or natural, or could they be the scenes of life in the workshops, of men at work, poor men trying to show their courage and lead life that they deserve, so workmen homeward returning, or is it, or do I, because Abraham Lincoln's a hard-working person, so do you think, should I leave nature and then come to the cities, and maybe draw pictures of people returning home after a hard day's work, low body and soul, this land, my own Manhattan with spires. He says, where you live, beta. This is he's talking about the Manhattan in America. He says, जिस भी लैंड में आप रहते हो बेटा, वो आपका बॉडी और आपकी सोल होती है. You must be thinking that आप पूरी दुनिया घुमाते हो, फिर भी आपको लगता है कि नहीं, वो कोटा में मेरा जो घर है ना, वहाँ जहाँ पर पापा मम्मी ने हमें पाला है, दैट इज़ लाइक द बेस्ट. सो ही सेज, बॉडी एंड सोल दिस लैंड, ये ज़मीन जो होती है ना बेटा, वही हमारी आत्मा, वही हमारा हमारा शरीर होती है. मैनहट्टन विद स्पायर्स, उसके अंदर बड़े बड़े टावर्स हैं मैनहट्टन में. एंड द स्पार्कलिंग हरिंग टाइड्स एंड द शिप्स, द वेरिड एंड ample land. And because it's on the sea, so it's like the sparkling hurrying tides, the tides which come and go, ships, varied and ample land. It's such a beautiful scenery, changes every minute. The south and the north in the light, Ohio's shores and flashing Missouri. And these are the cities of America, which with Ohio is shores, it's the seaside of Ohio, and flashing Missouri, Missouri, which is a very vibrant city, and ever the spreading prairies covered with grass and corn, and the prairies, the grasslands, or the meadows of America, which are called the prairies, which are covered with grass and maize. Lo, the most excellent sun, so calm and haughty, the violet and purple moon with just felt breezes. Should I talk about this amazing sun, which comes in the morning, and it's calm. It's just like, because you are no more, there is no there is no hyperactivity. Life is going on, but then life has sort of taken a slow pace. And haughty means haughty here means arrogant. He's proud. Sun is supposed to be very proud because it's supposed to be very powerful. The violet and purple moon with just felt breezes, and now there is a lilt towards morning. Violet and purple are the colors of the robe which Jesus wore at the time of crucifixion. So that, he's talking about the beautiful breeze that is blowing in the morning, but then that is also purple and violet in color, and very remindful of the fact that there is somebody who has been crucified. There is somebody who's been killed. There is somebody who's been killed for the truth that he held. There's somebody who's been killed for the ideals that he held so close to his heart. There's somebody who's been killed who lived for others and wanted other upliftment of others. Okay, just like Christ, the gentle, soft, born, measureless light, the miracle spreading, bathing all, the not fulfilled noon. He says, maybe can I write about this soft, born, measureless light? Means, as morning's coming, it's like very softly that light is entering. Measureless, you can't measure light, it's so soft, you can't measure its subtlety, its softness. The miracle spreading, bathing all, and this golden miracle sunlight which spreads all over the world, and everybody is steeped in sunlight from top to bottom. All right, oh, fulfilled noon, how amazing. These fulfilled means these satisfying noons when you get up and start your work and start doing relevant work, and you feel very satisfied by the time it's noon. The coming eve delicious, the welcome night and stars over my city's shining wall, enveloping man and land. And he says, किसके बारे में लिखूं? ये जो सुबह है या शाम जो इतनी अच्छी आती है, जो the welcome night जो which is restful and it's beautiful with stars. किन cities के बारे में, अपनी cities के बारे में लिखूं जो which enveloping man and land, वो those cities which cover the entire land, and men who live in it also get bound by them. All right. 13. Sing on, you grey brown bird, sing from the swamps, recesses, pour your chant from the bushes. He says, oh, this beautiful brown bird that he's talking to, he's saying, you go on singing. कहीं से भी आप गा रही हो, चाहे दलदल में से गा रही हो, रिसेसेस मीन्स चट्टानों, पेड़ों, यो पत्थरों के बीच में से कहीं से गा रही हो, pour your chant from the bushes. Please bring your magic wherever you're singing from, even from the bushes. Limitless out of the dusk, out of the cedars and pines. Limitless means boundless. You are singing from the dusk, means at the time, the bird sings in the morning. Out of cedars and pines are trees. Sing on dearest brother, babble your reedy song. He says, little brother of mine. I sing in my poetry, you sing in your warbling. Please go on singing your reedy song. Reedy means your pastoral song, loud human song with voice of uttermost woe. And he says, if I sing, my voice will be very loud. It will be a human song with voice of uttermost woe. Woe. I want to sing, but then the problem is that if I sing, my song is going to be very sad. It's going to be really miserable. It's going to be filled with sorrow. All right, oh liquid and free and tender, oh wild and loose to my soul, oh wondrous singer. He says, you're so liquid, you're so fluid. Your voice is like clear crystal waters of the stream. Free and tender, you're free. You are not bound by death. You are not bound by sorrows or pain. Okay? And tender, you're so delicate. Oh, wild and loose to my soul. And you're wild, you're tameless. You're loose. Loose means you can go anywhere. To my soul, I also want my soul to be like this. Oh, wondrous singer, oh, beautiful bird. You only I hear, yet the star holds me, but will soon depart. He says, I am hearing you, but this star, the memory of my beloved, is holding me, but will soon depart. After a point of time, people will forget, not be that sad. Yet the lilac with mustering odor holds me. And the color of lilac again is purple, children. So the lilac color is again the color of crucifixion with mastering odor holds me. It is getting a control. This lilac's smell, fragrance is getting a control over me, and I'm not able to leave it. I'm not able to go away from it. Now, while 14, but I don't know when it ये stop हो जाएगा, मैं उधर से start कर दूंगी. What do I do? Now, while I sat in the day and looked, this is 14. Now, while I sat in the day and looked forth in the close of the day with its light and fields of spring, the farmers preparing their crops. He says, I'm sitting, it's day, I'm looking around, it's light, and there is this beautiful spring fields which the farmers are preparing, and the large unconscious scenery of my land with its lakes and forests. Unconscious, क्यों बेटा? The scenery does not know that the poet is having a look at it. So it's an unconscious, beautiful, big, large scenery. Scenery means landscape. मेरे लैंड का विद इट्स लेक्स एंड फॉरेस्ट जिसके जंगल हैं जिसके झरने हैं ओके इन द हेवनली एरियल ब्यूटी एंड ऊपर देखो तो आसमान की खूबसूरत एरियल मीन्स heaven sky की beauty नजर आती है after the perturbed winds and storms. I mean, there came a night which brought a big storm in America, in the political, social life of America. Perturbed winds and storms, very troubled winds and storms came, and they troubled us. But after that, things have been started settling, and there is I can witness and visualize this beauty of my country under the arching heavens of the afternoon, swift passing, and he's like heavens of the afternoon. The afternoons go away. It's like as soon as it's April time is passing, and you're coming into May, June, July, August. So basically, afternoon passes. The afternoon turns into evening very soon. And under the arching heavens means under the sky. Okay, in the sky, the voices of children and women, the many moving sea tides, and I saw ships how they sailed, and I can imagine children and women. Everything is at its work. Tides are falling, coming up and down. Ships are sailing as usual, and the summer approaching with richness. And it's like April, May, June, and summer is coming with its all richness means with all its pastoral beauty. Where the fruit trees and the fields and entire Mother Nature will be laden with the bounties of Mother Nature. The fields all busy with labor, and the fields that there are laborers working in it, and the infinite separate houses, how they went on, each with its meals and minutiae of daily usages, and how those separate houses one by one, there are these colonies of houses where everybody's working, meals are being prepared, and small little details or small little works or insignificant activities being carried out of daily usages means better of your daily chores as they call it. And the streets how they're throbbed, and the cities spent low then and there. And the streets, there is usual business on the streets, the people mobs work, it's throbbing, it's palpitating with the activity. The cities spent, the cities are breathless because everybody's just working low then and there. Falling upon them all and among them all, enveloping me with the rest, appeared the cloud. And he says, falling upon them all, Suddenly everything was very normal, and suddenly something fell upon them, means covered them, and among them all, enveloping me with the rest, I was also one of the persons affected with the rest of the America. Appeared the cloud, appeared the long black trail. I knew death, its thought, and the sacred knowledge of death. He says, suddenly, like a cloud, everything was so fine, everything was going so nicely, but suddenly, as a cloud, like a long black tail, trail also means trail only. I Death came, its thought, and the secret knowledge of death. So death came, its knowledge came, it took away Abraham Lincoln, and the sacred knowledge of death. I'll Sacred knowledge I'll continue in the next, because it will snap off now.